This video is for training purposes only. It is prohibited from being copied, distributed, or shared. The concepts, statistics, and ideas do not necessarily represent those of World Financial Group and Transamerica Financial Advisors.
Hey everybody, this is Mark Meadis. I'm here with Deborah Fisher and Joseph Fisher, and today we're going to be going over the FLS. For more detailed instruction on the actual dream map and filling that out, James has another instruction, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. Well, Deborah and Joseph, it's a pleasure meeting with you again. Before we get started, I wanted to explain a little bit about what I was going to do today.
Okay.
Last week, as I mentioned, today is really about just taking a financial snapshot of where you are currently.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you guys to relax. I've got two rules. One is you can put your checkbook away. We're not worrying about that today.
Okay.
So don't feel any stressors feeling like you need to buy something, because that's not the case. Okay. Number two rule is I would just ask that if you have questions that you either tell me and let me write them down, or wait until the end and let me write them down. The reason I do that is just so I would hate to answer a question about your financial situation without me first seeing the full picture. Does that seem fair?
Oh,
Yes, that's
Okay, so if you do have questions, I'll write them down, and when we meet again, I'll answer them for you. Okay? So in doing that, we have 6 steps that we would want to take a look at in your personal finances: your cash flow, debt management, your emergency fund, proper protection, asset accumulation, and estate preservation. Now, you guys may be set in 5 or 6 of these. You may be set in all of them, but you may have 4 that you need help with. So we just want to take like I said, a financial snapshot of where you guys are at and see if there's any place that we can help you. Okay? So first and foremost, what we're going to do is just take down some personal information. Ladies first, so we have your name here, Deborah Fisher, female, and how old are you, Deborah?
I'm 50.
50. And your date of birth?
12, 6, 62.
Perfect. What's your address?
505 Exchange Boulevard, Parkway. We just moved here, sorry.
No problem.
And
Okay, and what city is that?
Allen.
Alright. And what's the zip?
75002.
Alright, perfect. What's your phone number?
It's 931-982-2226.
Okay, and what's the best email for you guys?
Probably mine.
Okay.
It's dfisher,
Mm-hmm.
12652 at AOL.
At AOL.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And Joseph. And what is your age?
I'm 51.
All right, and your date of birth?
12/2/61.
Perfect. You guys' birthdays are close.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Now, do you guys have any kids?
Yes, we have 2 daughters.
2 daughters, and their names?
Rachel
Rachel,
and Rebecca.
Rebecca. Okay, and their dates of birth?
Rachel was born December 31st,
31st, and Rebecca?
February 8th.
February 8th, and they are how old?
Rachel is 20 and Becca is 18.
18. All right, perfect. All right. What I'd like to go over first, after we get your initial information here, is a little bit about your goals and dreams. So I have a quick questionnaire. It's just a goals questionnaire. There's 2 columns, A and B, because I want you guys to both fill that out. So like I said before, ladies first, so I would just have Deborah, if you want to fill out the A column. And if any of those interest you, just mark an X. But this one I want you to focus on is the personal goals that may not be listed here, if you just want to mention anything like that. So Joseph, how are your Saints doing? Pretty good?
Saints are awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like I said earlier when we first talked, I'm from Chicago, so I'm a big Bears fan. So hopefully,
I'll forgive you.
You know, it was a real tragedy when Mike Ditka left and,
Yes.
and came down to you guys, but it is what it is.
Yes. Well, we saw what he did for the Saints. I mean, his popularity
Mm-hmm.
helped
That's
recruit
great.
the Saints.
You know, you never discount Mike Ditka, that's for sure.
Okay.
Perfect. So you've got 2 daughters,
Yep.
and so Rachel and Rebecca. Tell me about them.
Well, Rachel is just starting college in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at
Okay.
Louisiana State University.
Wow.
And Becky is graduating this year from high school.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're beautiful daughters, and
And I
I'm
have
proud of them.
a 9-month-old daughter myself, and so, you know, I'm a little bit scared. She's only 9 months, so a lot of years before
Yes.
she's out of the house, like yours are now.
Enjoy
so
those moments because it goes by fast.
I believe it. I believe it. All done there, Joseph?
That's it.
All right, perfect. All right. So I do see here you guys have quite a few of the same things listed, so that's fantastic. You guys are in a line. You'd like to build a beach house on the ocean in Belize. I've actually been to Belize. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, I've never been.
Now, what was that?
I've never been there, but I'd like to go.
It's absolutely beautiful. Now, is it fair to say that these are currently goals and dreams? They're not a reality in your life right now. Is that fair to say?
That would be fair.
Okay. Now, I want to ask if you guys are serious about reaching these goals, because you know this process. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time. I feel that time is one of the most valuable things we have on this earth. So if you're serious, I'm happy to work with you guys. Is that the case?
Yes. Yes.
All right, fantastic. What I'd like to start with is there's a book written by a gentleman named David Bach. It's called Start Smart, Finish Rich. And he mentions a concept called the latte factor. Okay, and what he means by that is, for example, a gentleman going to work every morning will stop at a Starbucks, for example, and may purchase a latte. How much does the latte cost? $4 or $5 probably, right?
Yeah.
So $4 or $5 isn't a large sum of money, and you know I find myself spending $4 or $5 here and there quite frequently. But the concept that he explains is that $4 or $5 spent every single day over a month can make a big difference in someone's savings. Now, Deborah and Joseph, do you feel that there's anything currently that you spend that could be on a frivolous expense?
Probably eating out.
Yeah, that's definitely my weakness as well. How much do you think that you spend on a daily and weekly basis on that?
We sometimes pick up lunch maybe twice a week, but we like to go out every Friday night on a date. So we
Okay,
like
so
to
in a typical week, how much do you think you?
probably $30.
$30 a week?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, over the month, is it fair to say that over 4 weeks would be about $120? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you guys mentioned that you were serious about saving, and the reason I bring this up is obviously we're looking for places that we can cut back and find places that we can start putting towards so that you guys can reach your goals. And this is typically the first place we start. Now, I don't want to ask you guys to not eat out because it's something that you enjoy, and you shouldn't have to. But do you feel that it's fair for me to ask, rather than maybe spending $120, maybe cutting that back a little bit to start saving towards those goals and dreams of yours?
You mean like cutting it in half?
Yeah, if maybe not even half. Let's say if we cut $50 out of that, would that be fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
so.
perfect. All right. Next, I want to talk about your employment. And Deborah, who do you work for currently?
I'm working for the Methodist Hospital.
Okay. Okay. And how long have you been there?
Well, I just moved to Texas, so
Okay.
about 6 months now.
6 months. Okay. And what's your occupation there?
I'm a registered nurse.
RN. Fantastic. Joseph, who's your employer?
I work with General Motors.
General Motors. Perfect. And how long you been with them?
I've been with them for 25 years.
25 years. Impressive. You don't see that very often.
No, not nowadays.
Okay. And what do you do for them?
I work in injection molding.
Injection molding. Okay. Perfect. Now, do you both see yourselves retiring at those places?
I don't.
Okay.
I would like to retire sooner.
Okay. Fantastic. Now, a little bit about your incomes. Deborah, what is your current salary?
I make about 50 a year.
50,000. Okay. Joseph?
I make about anywhere from 45 to 50,
Okay. So
depending on overtime
With your
Okay.
bonuses.
and bonuses.
perfect. So if I put 45 and then said there was a bonus of about approximately 5,000.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's very good.
Perfect. Now, do you have any other incomes besides that? Any rental income, child support that you receive? Anything?
No.
No.
Okay. And what was your last year's tax refund?
Say
It's about,
4,000.
4,000. Okay. All right. Perfect. Now, when was the last time you reviewed your financial goals with a financial professional?
this is our first time.
First time.
Yeah.
Hey. Great. First time. Okay. Now, do you have an established monthly budget? Now, when I say monthly budget, one that's actually written down that you follow?
No.
Wish I
Okay.
did.
No.
Okay. Now, I have one of those, a template available. Would it be of interest for me to have that sent to you via email?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely send that. And do you currently have a savings plan? Like I mentioned, a written savings plan, anything like that?
Not a written one, no.
Okay. All right. Well, I can definitely send you those. Now, when I send you that template for the budget, rather than going through everything with you today, what I'd ask you to do is just fill out that template and send it back to me.
Oh, okay.
And that will give me an idea of your monthly expenses. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Perfect. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your insurance currently. Deborah, do you have life insurance?
Well, through General Motors, I do.
Okay, so you do. So through General Motors. And do you know how much coverage that you have?
I think it's very much.
Life insurance for her would be, I would say, 45.
45,000. Okay. And Joseph, do you have? I'm assuming you have it as well.
Yes.
Okay. And how much coverage do you have?
I have 61.
61,000. All right. And do you know how much you pay on a monthly basis for that?
That's benefit.
Okay. Okay. So no cost.
No cost.
Okay. Perfect. Now, do you have health insurance through them?
Yes.
Okay. And through GM, do you know who the provider is? Is it
It's Blue Cross Blue
Blue
Shield.
Cross. Okay. All right. And the monthly premium that you pay?
That's
Well, they just take out for dental, eye, and what else?
I would say we pay about what?
About 100.
About 140, 150.
Okay,
Like that.
$140. Perfect.
Just they automatically take it out.
Now, is that an HMO or a PPO?
PPO.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask you those questions, we don't really deal in health insurance necessarily, but what we do is we'll oftentimes partner with someone in the area, and you know you're paying fairly low rates, so we probably wouldn't be able to beat that. But oftentimes I can refer you to someone, and you might be able to get the same plan for a significantly less cost, and in turn be able to put that a little bit more towards your savings. Okay?
That'd be
Okay.
good.
Now, do you guys have any debts? Do you have a mortgage currently?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the balance on the mortgage?
It's 100.
100,000. Okay. And do you know who the lender is?
It's a Bank of America.
Okay, Bank of America. And the interest rate?
We got a pretty good interest rate. It's about 5%.
Yeah, 5%. Perfect. And I make 2 columns here. One is what is the minimum, and if you're paying more than that, what are you paying? So what is the minimum payment?
We just pay the minimum payment. It's $1,500 a month.
$1,500. Perfect. Do you have any auto loans?
Nope.
No auto loans.
We
Fantastic.
own a car.
Any credit cards, anything like that?
We do have a credit card.
You do have a credit
Yes.
card. Okay, who's the credit card with?
Discover.
Discover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the balance on the Discover card?
About 3,000.
Okay, 3,000. Don't look too worried. It's not. That's pretty good. Okay, 3,000, not so bad. Do you know the interest rate on that?
It's pretty low. About I say it's low. 14.
14%. For credit cards, that is pretty low. All right. And what is the minimum on that? And are you paying more than the minimum?
I am paying more.
Okay.
The minimum is about 69, and I try to pay about 100.
Okay, perfect. Any other debts, any other loans, anything like that?
Well, he just had his tooth fixed, so we do have another credit card with Care Credit.
Okay, Care Credit.
Mm-hmm.
And the balance?
3,000.
3,000. Interest rate?
Actually, it's a small one right now. We just got it. I think it's 8.
8. Okay.
It
And
might be lower than that. I'll have to check.
all right. And the minimum and what you pay?
It's just one. It's 111.
Okay, and is that how much you're paying?
Mhm.
Okay.
Right. We have 3 years to pay it off.
Okay, perfect. All right, Deborah and Joseph, we've gone over your debts. Now I want to talk about your current savings. Do you currently have any mutual funds?
No.
No. Okay. Any stocks?
I have a 401k.
You have a 401k. Okay. Well, who's your 401k? I'm assuming it's with General Motors.
It's with Fidelity.
Oh, with Fidelity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through General.
Through
Okay.
General Motors.
Okay. And do you know the balance on that?
How much I have in it?
Yes.
I have about 150,000.
150. Okay. Do you contribute on a monthly basis?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know?
Really, it's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And percentage-wise, out of your paycheck on a monthly basis, do they match? Do you know?
They used to.
Okay, they used to match. Do they?
They cut that out.
They don't currently.
No, they cut it
Okay,
out.
so do you know? And what percent would you pay on a monthly basis into that?
I would
A percentage,
say
4 or 5%.
about, I would say 4.
4%. Okay. And have you been keeping up with it? Do you know what the current rate of return that you've been getting on the vehicle they're using?
It's been up and down.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. So not really
Mostly
sure.
down.
Pretty common, unfortunately, with 401ks. Okay. Other than that, no stocks. Do you have a savings account or checking account?
It's very little.
We have a
Okay.
savings.
Okay, so you
And a
have
checking.
a checking, but that's more of a put and take account.
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you have anything substantial in your savings account?
No.
It's about 1,000.
1,000. Okay. Okay, and do you contribute to that on a monthly basis?
We try.
Okay. About how much?
100.
$100. Okay. And do you know the rate of return at your bank currently on your?
Definitely less than 1. I mean, it's hardly nothing.
Okay,
0
so-
point something.
All right. Not a problem. Any bonds, treasures, anything like that? Do you have an IRA?
Nope.
Okay. Any annuities?
No.
No. Okay. Any savings bonds, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Any Roth IRAs, anything? Okay. Do you have any IULs, VULs?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, well then, no need to worry about it. You probably don't have it then. All right, not a problem. Do you currently have a will?
Actually,
Yes,
we do.
You do? Okay. And when was that last updated?
Oh goodness, that's been, I'll say maybe 10, 15 years.
Okay, so 10 to 15 years. You know, if you're interested, like I said, I have a lot of partnerships here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If ever you were looking to, I guess, revamp that, I can put you in touch with a great lawyer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have a trust?
No.
No. Okay. Do you expect any lump sum inheritances in the near future?
I wish.
Okay. No, nothing currently. Do you have any college savings plans set up specifically for your daughters?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, nothing currently. Okay, not a problem.
That's what we were hoping the 401k would be.
Okay. Well, there's definitely some options, and you know, I'd love to show you some of those things.
Okay, good.
Now, what would be a desired income for you in your retirement? Let's imagine that the house is paid off, and you really don't have any debts to speak of. How much would you need on a monthly basis?
Well, we both we're bringing home pretty good money right now, but most of that's going to bills.
Right. In college.
In college.
So usually I use a range. So, you know, imagine the house is paid off. You don't really have any debts. You know, obviously you may want to do some travel. So between 3,000 and 5,000, or
I was gonna say maybe 4,000.
4,000.
between 4,000 and 5,000 a month.
4 or 5.
Okay. All right. And at what age would you like to be in the financial position to retire?
I would like to go for the 65. Maybe.
About age 65?
I'd like to go younger.
Okay. So we'll do a range between 60 and 65. Does that sound fair?
Sounds good.
Okay.
I've been a
Now,
nurse for 20 years, so I'm ready.
you're ready. I'm
To
sure
retire.
I've heard that's pretty taxing.
It is.
Okay. So, Deborah and Joseph, obviously you mentioned you wanted to retire between age 60 and 65. And you told me that you were serious about getting to those goals.
Right.
Okay. Now, our goals include us trying to find what I like to call the financial independence number. Do you guys know what that is?
Yes, no.
Okay.
I've heard
Have you ever
commercials about
have you ever
number.
seen the ING commercial where the
Yes.
people are carrying those large, big
Yes.
numbers? Okay, that's essentially what that is.
Okay.
What we want is essentially a bucket of money in your retirement that can work for you as a machine to help
That'd be nice.
pay for that money that's going to come in the mailbox.
Okay.
But isn't that what the 401k is for?
That's right. That's part of it, and we can work on it, growing that to where you'll have enough in your retirement to live the way that you'd like. Okay. Now that financial independence number, like I mentioned, is the number we're trying to reach. Now, in order to reach that, we obviously need to save, and you've got some savings in your 401k, but we may need to step that up a little bit. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we mentioned earlier that according to the latte factor, that you might be able to cut back about $50 a month in that. Now, as a minimum, you know, obviously you can save about $50 a month. What do you feel would be the absolute maximum that you could save on a monthly basis?
We should definitely be
I would
saving
say-
more than 50. I would say
150,
200.
200?
Yeah.
$200. Okay. Now, my goal in working with both of you is obviously to help you reach your goals. Now, how I do that is I'm going to create a plan for you, and in that plan I'm going to try and go over 4 things.
Okay.
Make sure that your money is going to be safe, that it's going to be liquid. And what I mean by liquid is that if something happens, currently your money in your 401k is tied up. You know, that you might be penalized, if you tried to pull that out. We want to make sure that there is some liquidity to those funds if something were needed.
Okay.
Third is the best taxation possible. Taxes are the number one thing that stop people from reaching their financial goals and dreams. So we want to find a vehicle for both of you that will allow it to get the best advantages. Obviously, we're all about paying our fair share in taxes, but we don't want to pay too much.
No.
But I pay my taxes on that before I put it in.
Right. And you're absolutely right. That's a deferred vehicle.
Deferred.
And so, and we can talk about some of if that's the best vehicle for you when we get back together.
Okay.
And lastly is what I like to call transferability of your wealth. And what that means is, now obviously you're both in great health, but if heaven forbid something happened or when the time comes where either one of you pass, we want to be able to transfer that wealth to your heirs in the best way possible. Okay? Now, we've set some goals. Obviously, you'd like to have between $4,000 and $5,000 a month to retire between age 60 and 65.
Yes.
Now, if I come back to you next week with a plan providing you the ability to reach those goals, keeping your money safe, liquid, with the best taxation possible, and having the ability to transfer that to your heirs, do you feel that there's any reason that you wouldn't want to work with me in the future?
No, this is what we need.
I mean, this is what we need.
Perfect, perfect.
We want this.
All right, other than that, we're pretty much done. I do have one last thing here, and it's about your insurance. I saw, and how is it that you came up with those numbers? Is that just the amount that they gave to you for coverage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to share with you just a short concept about how you can know what your need of insurance is.
Okay.
All right. So we use the acronym DIME, D-I-M-E, and the D is going to stand for two things: debt and death. Okay. Now, death, an average funeral currently is about $12,000. Okay. So, you know, obviously, if something were to happen to either of you, we want to make sure that's taken care of. So, if I put $15,000, does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, your debts, you didn't have very much to speak of, about $6,000 outside of your home there, so we'll just put $6,000.
Okay.
The I stands for income, and like I mentioned before, we want that income to come in, so we would need a bucket of money.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back to that one. Your M stands for mortgage. You mentioned you have $100,000 left on your mortgage. And lastly is education. You've got two beautiful daughters that you mentioned, and obviously one is just starting school. If something were to happen to either of you, we want to make sure that, you know, hopefully their school is taken care of. And I don't know whether you want to pay, or if you're paying for their school in full, or if you want to pay a portion. But what is a good amount that you feel that you would want to set aside for their education specifically?
Probably, I don't know, 100, 200, I don't even know.
Okay. Well,
We're just getting started in that.
not a problem. So I feel that 100,000 is probably
Yeah.
fair. 100,000 wouldn't necessarily cover the entire amount,
Right.
but it would definitely get them well on their way.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I want the girls
100,000.
taken care of.
Yes.
All right. Now, income, you mentioned between $4,000 and $6,000 a month. What we try and do is we feel that there's products out there that can provide guarantees, and we could easily find a product that would earn 5% guaranteed for you. So to earn an income of between $4,000 and $6,000, we need to have a lump sum where $4,000 and $6,000 is 5% of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So for $4,000, if we double that, it would be $8,000. That's going to be 10%. So making that 100% is $800,000. Okay. So looking at all these numbers, your need of insurance currently is about $1 million. Okay.
Wow.
So now, currently, insurance that you have in place, between you've got about 61 and about 45. So, you know, you're a little bit short in that area, about $900,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot short.
So, 900K. So this is your shortfall is about $900,000. $100,000. Now, you know, depending on obviously your situation, we want to sit down and take a look at that, and we may not be able to get $900,000 of insurance for you at this moment. But I want you to be aware of this so that if someone in the future asks you kind of or tries to sell you insurance, we want to make sure that you're aware of what your need is currently. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll take that with me. What I'm going to do is I'll email you those items and ask that you just fill out the template, send it back to me. What our next step is us getting back together.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit longer of a presentation. It's about an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay.
Okay, what that will include is me sitting down with you and basically educating you on what's out in the marketplace and the different vehicles that we can use to save. I'm also going to provide you with a recommendation of what I think we can do, and if there's any areas that I feel that we could improve in your current situation. Now, if I come up with a plan that seems fair, I'd like to go ahead and get started at that time.
Okay.
And what I would ask is that we start saving, and that may include having a check to submit to a company that we're going to work with.
Okay.
Do you have any heartburn with that at all?
No.
No.
We're ready. We're serious.
Serious.
Perfect.
Kinda waiting
Perfect. Let's go ahead then and plan is next week at the same time.
Same time. But this is perfect.
All right, so we'll do it on Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Sounds
It's a pleasure, guys.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.